Morning guys, this is Hina and thank you for tuning in for a new video. If you're new, please do subscribe. I'm Hina, a CPA, and here we try to make videos on the tax and financial world, whatever the current situation is, in the most simplest forms without complicated matters. Though keeping everything intact with what you need to do or need to know to make a good, reasonable decision. As you can tell, today we will be discussing opportunity zones. The reason I wanted to do that is because of a certain new change that just came in early June, which kind of motivated some of my clients to look into it. So I thought might as well make a video for others out there trying to get more information. We will kind of go in the detail, but not too much, enough for you to get the understanding of what it is, what the purpose is, what you need to do, the benefits you can get, the pitfalls of it, so that by the end of this video, you are more informed whether this is something you want to do for yourself. Let's begin. Opportunity zone is basically a designated zone created by the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, signed by President Trump. Now, I looked it up on Wiki, and this is what I got, just for the fun factor. It said the purpose of the program is to put capital to work that would otherwise be locked due to asset holders' unwillingness to trigger capital gains. Oof, that's a heavy statement. In simpler words, if you are the one who has capital gains and you are not sure what to do with it, this act brought opportunity zones to you, enough for you to look into in terms of your interest, to develop the interest, to save some tax money while doing some good on the side. So this is like a win-win for both in terms of as an investor and the communities this program seems to target. Basically, it allows certain investments in lower income areas, and the investor gets to take a tax advantage. A state can designate about 20% of the low income census tract as an opportunity zone. And though if you really look at those tracts, I really don't think a lot of them are low income. They are there's a decent out there that seem to be doing pretty well in general, but they're still part of the opportunity zone. Who decides what gets into it is, they're certainly not you or I. It's done on a more of a political, it's a political game. So certainly there's more that goes into it than just being a low income area. Let's get into some of the meat of the matter. Basically, it's a tax benefit for investors. So before this opportunity zone came into being, the only way you could defer capital gain was by a Section 1031. Other than that, there really wasn't anything out there. But with opportunity zone coming into the picture, all of a sudden there's another way you can defer, if not 100% eliminate your cap gain. How we do it? Basically, it is you look up opportunity zone funds. You can do it by yourself, but there's a little more formality that goes into it. If you're interested, we can talk. But generally, there are opportunity funds out there that have already done the hard work in terms of the ground level work of figuring out where the opportunity zones are, taking care of how they need to invest or develop those zones, and all you do is invest into those funds and they take care of the rest. That being said, they do come with fees involved, so be very, very careful where you invest. But coming back to the matter at hand for right now, basically what you're looking for is just like a 1031, you have 180 days to roll over your cap gain into an opportunity fund. Now, the way this works is, if you were to keep that money in that fund for about 7 years, 85% of the original capital gain is taxable. So you get a cut of like 15%. Though, if you were to keep it for 10 years, almost all of it becomes tax-free. And the reason that the way this works is that this act allows you to bring your basis up to the market value. So when the market value and what you get out of it and your cost basis become the same, you essentially have a zero capital gain. So if you look at it from a 10-year perspective, it's a fabulous deal. I don't know any other place besides having your own home with that 5-year rule, 3 out of the 5-year rule, that you can walk away without paying tax. Nothing really is as simple, but this one sounds like it essentially does that for you. Now, the reason this all of a sudden became more, came back into picture is because Treasury is giving more time and more areas for the people to invest. And the reason that's coming is because of the COVID. A lot of people who had the time, the 180 days were expiring April, couldn't do it because of coronavirus pandemic. And keeping that in mind, they kind of essentially gave an extension to your 180 days. Interestingly, they kind of extended it twice. So essentially, the interesting one I found out, the detail was, basically, if you have a recognized gain in 2019, as long as your qualification period would have been April 1st, 2020, you now have essentially December 20th to get into these funds and still qualify for the tax gains, which I think is great, because in case you were not aware of it, now you do. You still have time to get into these zones and save that huge cap tax that you may have otherwise incurred. That being said, you have to be very careful when you choose these funds that you invest on. You do not have much control once the money is gone. In a sense, there's not much in terms of reporting when it comes to these funds, and there are high fees, hidden cost. So you want to make sure that the ones that you are picking up are the ones that have done their due diligence. Definitely check on the manager that's taking care of these funds, because those are the ones who will drive your money to success. This seems to be a very popular one. I just found out that Titans linebacker Derek Morgan, who retired from NFL and actually launched a $200 million opportunity zone fund. So certainly there's definitely a lot of celebrity behind it, and most of it is just because it sounds fabulous, as long as you get the right manager who locates the right opportunities for you. You should definitely have a CPA or lawyer look into it wherever you go for a funding, for a fund like that, because they should be able to look at those documents that you will be signing. At the end of the day, you have to do your due diligence. It sounds very interesting. It sounds like something you can walk away with. Imagine having $500,000, 10, most likely 15 to 20% tax that you can literally walk away with if you were to wait the 10 years. And time does travel fast these days. By definition, these are difficult communities to bring back. So certainly goes back to the point that make sure your fund and the manager managing your fund is someone who's knowledgeable to do that. Again, like I said, you would have, this is something only at this point left if you have capital gain as of 2019. But as long as you do, you still have another 6 months to decide where to put that cap gain to take advantage of this. Now, in terms of anything else that I would like to make sure I haven't missed is, oh yeah, like LA has 250 opportunity zones. That's ridiculous. All 50 states, including Puerto Rico, have these opportunity zones. It's just that you need that, you need a manager who has the eye to make that best decision where to invest that money. Also, make sure the cap gain that you are investing for this opportunity zone fund is not coming from a related party, which is pretty much same as what it is with Section 1031 as well. It cannot be a related party transaction. Just keeping it honest. Also, let me think. Of course, all of this is with a healthy dose of skepticism, so make sure you've done your homework. You have the right to have your own opportunity zone fund created if you want, as long as you put 90% of that fund into an asset or a business in the designated areas, you could do that by filing a tax return, by filing the form 8996 with your federal return. I'm not sure how many of you out there want to do that. It is a tedious process. Not the filing, essentially, just picking up the areas, deciding what to do. But if you think you're good with something like that, or you can get a professional who can, the Opportunity Zone professionals, and there are many out there, hire them and let them do that legwork for you, and all you do is investments. That certainly is fantastic, because you can do away with the fees, the hidden cost, and keep most of the profit in hand, in-house for yourself. So hopefully this video gave you a good idea about what opportunity zones are, how you can get into them, the pitfalls, and if you want to make one of your own, hey, be my guest. It doesn't seem like it's too much of a work, though there is a lot of due diligence. You do not want to, it's your hard-earned money. You want to make sure it's invested well. With that, I will like to wrap up with this video with a positive quote as usual. Before that, let me let you know, if you have any comment, you have any question regarding this video, feel free to put that comment or that question below, and I will get back to you in my next video or reply to it right there. Now, coming back to my positive quote, this is from none other than Dalai Lama. It says, in order to carry a positive action, we must develop here a positive vision. Everything starts from the root, and I believe in the aura of positivity in general. We get what we give. So positive vibes in, positive vibes out. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.